With me now is Richard Tice and Ben Habib. Now, Ben Habib is a candidate for the party in the Wellingborough by-election, but Richard Tice, to you first. Isn't a vote for reform a wasted vote because you don't know where voters live?
It's completely the opposite. It's the only way, actually, to save Britain. That is the truth. The crisis facing the country is so serious. The main two parties are two forms of socialism: high taxes, wasteful government spending, daft EU regulations. The government has betrayed people. Mass immigration, a huge betrayal by the Tories that Labour want more of, and we are now the only party of the working class, of tens of millions of people who feel completely abandoned and let down. And we're the only party that will get rid of the job-destroying, deeply damaging net zero policies. And that's why I think people will vote for change.
The press conference there was packed. Most of the lobby reporters that were there hearing what you have to say. But weren't they really waiting for Nigel Farage? Weren't you worried about the questioning about Nigel Farage? He, of course, was a big player in UKIP, then the Brexit Party.
The more people talk about Nigel and Reform UK, the better. It does our job for us of raising brand awareness because we're a relatively new brand. But as more people hear about us, they say, who's this lot? And they like what they hear. They look at our policies and say, oh, thank God someone's talking common sense. I'll vote for those guys. So that's great. And I'm very clear. The more help Nigel can give, the better. But he's got some important decisions to make, and a good poker player always keeps their cards close to the chest until the perfect moment.
But that perfect moment is coming soon. How soon or when will Nigel Farage declare his intentions, and what will he do with your party? Do you want him to stand to be an MP?
I think that's the least likely thing, is that Nigel would stand under a first-past-the-post system in a constituency. He's consistently said that he wouldn't. And look, we want proportional representation. That's the right and fair and proper way. So look, but who knows? We're getting ready for a May election, so we haven't got that much time. But as I say, Nigel's got to work out what help he can give, when he can give it, and it's a big job saving Britain. That's literally what we're doing, because Starmergeddon will be a catastrophic cocktail for this country. We've got to avoid it. We've got to wake people up. There is a genuine alternative to socialism, and that's Reform UK.
Okay, now Ben Habib, you're the party's deputy leader. You're standing for the party in the likely, shortly to be announced, Wellingborough by-election. You were UKIP, the comparable election of 2015, was second. Can you win it?
Well, I think there's every chance of winning it. It was a very different environment to 2015. I think there was still some hope that the governing class of this country would deliver the country to prosperity. But we've seen, Richard described Starmergeddon. We've actually had Sunakageddon, haven't we? He's taken the country. We've already experienced it. He's taken the country to the economic brink. He's taken it to the cultural brink. He's taken it to the political and constitutional brink. He's floated off Northern Ireland without so much as off you go with our blessing. No, this man is awful. Starmer is equally bad. If you want to change the way this country is governed, you have to vote for it.
But how?
And we will. We will get the. So, to answer your question, what we need to do, what I need to do, is to get the Tory voters out. There are 32,000 Tory voters voted for Peter Bone in the last election. 13,000 for Labour. I suspect Labour will get slightly less. All I need to do, my single challenge, is to convince those Tories and those Labour voters who are small c Conservative, of which there are many, to come out, engage with us, recognise what our policies are, and if they're sick of these two, which they should be, and I'm sure they are, vote for us.
Do you worry, though, you don't know where voters live? I've covered enough by-elections with UKIP back in 15 years ago, 10 years ago. The problem was the party would wander around seats and not know where the supporters are. And the other legacy parties know where the voters live.
Well, again, the landscape's very different. We can reach people through social media in a way that we couldn't reach them in 2015. We are going to penetrate people's psyche. We're going to get our message out there, and then it's up to them to decide how they vote. But I aim to win this seat. I aim to be a thorn in Sunak's side until that general election is called.
How big a deal will Brexit be? Brexit was the reason why UKIP did so well in 2015. Will you drive home what some see as the Brexit betrayal?
Absolutely. Brexit is huge. Brexit is not some kind of esoteric political obsession. Brexit would have delivered, for the people of Wellingborough, prosperity. It would have got rid of net zero. It would have increased, it would have given the government the ability to reduce regulations, which they've shirked. It would have given the government the ability to cut taxes. All of this would help the people of Wellingborough, and we will show them how Brexit would have delivered for them. Brexit's a huge issue.
And back to you, Richard Tice, very briefly. If an election was held today, how many MPs would you win?
As many as possible. The more people that vote for us, then the more we get. And people are very, very concerned about the way the country is being run. And as Ben quite rightly said, listen, if you want to vote for change, if you want change, you've got to vote for it.
OK, there we have it. Richard Tice and Ben Habib, full of the joys of January. Lots of the words Geddon, Starmergeddon, Sunak-geddon. Back to you in the studio, Tom and Emily.